I lift my eyes to the mount. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 121:2. There are certain experiences that words and descriptions can never prepare us for. Many come while beholding the wonders of nature. The vast and deep sea with its cascading waves, the brilliance of a billion burning stars piercing a dark night with their light, the towering mountains standing in majesty as nature's castles and cathedrals, the strength of an expanding oak as its branches reach upward, the roaring rivers and waterfalls rushing through earth's veins and rivulets, the familiar warmth of bathing in the beams of sunrise or soaking in the glow of a sunset. Something in these things speaks to us. Deep calls to deep, divine to divine. Near mountains, oceans, and forests, we feel nearer the depth of life itself, and a restless spirit finds peace. The Mother brings us to the Father. Quote, "Speak to the earth, and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. Who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord hath wrought this? In whose hand is the soul of every living thing, and the breath of mankind." Job 12:7-10. End quote. Nature lifts us out of our petty troubles and sorrows and puts us in the company of the divine and eternal. It puts us in the place of peace, as if our unsettled soul recognizes home in a way that logic and reason are incapable. Why would it have this effect if it did not sing to us of home? If it did not echo of our origin, why would it stir a longing inside us? Quote, "And this our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything." William Shakespeare, As You Like It. Mountains and stars, the majestic and sublime. Among the many ways we might meet the divine in nature, two stand out: the majesty of mountains and the sublimity of stars. We start with the mountain. Quote, "Mountains, again, seem to have been built for the human race, as at once their schools and cathedrals, full of treasures, an illuminated manuscript for the scholar, kindly and simple lessons for the worker, quiet and pale cloisters for the thinker, glorious in holiness for the worshipper. And of these great cathedrals of the earth, with their gates of rock, pavements of cloud, choirs of stream and stone, altars of snow, and vaults of purple traversed by the continual stars." End quote. Sir John Lubbock, The Pleasures of Life. The very earth seems to worship the Maker with its mountains. Nature's castles, cathedrals, and temples, they stand like kings, stirring the king inside us to wake. The one that wants to climb steep cliffs, chase rivers, explore caves, and trade our walking sticks for swords. Among the mountains, we can't help but feel we are standing in the strength of an author outside time, one who commands the stones to cry when all else is silent. And then there are the stars and their sublimity. The Latin root of sublime, sublimis, means uplifted, high, or exalted, and that's precisely how we feel in the presence of stars. The exalted exalt and the uplifted uplift. Standing under a sky full of stars, we can't help but be filled with feelings of grandeur and magnanimity. Quote, "In the heavenly bodies we have before us the perpetual presence of the sublime. They are so immense and so far away, and yet on soft summer nights they seem leaning down to whisper in the ears of our souls. A man can hardly lift up his eyes toward the heavens," says Seneca, "without wonder and veneration. To see so many millions of radiant lights and to observe their courses and revolutions, even without any respect to the common good of the universe." Who does not sympathize with the feelings of Dante as he rose from his visit to the lower regions until he says, "On our view the beautiful lights of heaven dawned through a circular opening in the cave, thence issuing once again we beheld the stars. As we watch the stars at night, they seem so still and motionless that we can hardly realize that all the time they are rushing on with a velocity far exceeding any that man has ever accomplished." Lubbock, The Pleasures of Life. End quote. In the face of these magnificent monuments of nature, we can't help but be moved by their surrender to their station and devotion to their duty. We can't help but want to be that which we are, to be beautiful and without fear, to want nothing, to be different, and love our fate. Quote, "These are the only hours that are not wasted, these hours that absorb the soul and fill it with beauty. This is real life, and all else is illusion or mere endurance. To be beautiful and calm, without mental fear, is the ideal of nature. If I cannot achieve it, at least I can think of it." End quote. Lubbock, The Pleasures of Life. This is the medicine of nature. It testifies to a state of being that does not rebel against what it was created to be. It is the lilies that neither toil nor spin, and the mountains that do nothing but stand firm. It is the stars that shine without discrimination and resentment, and the sun that rises every morning. There is a devotion in nature that teaches us of an intelligence at work in the world, if only we would submit to it. In the words of Rilke, quote, "If we surrendered to the earth's intelligence, we could rise uprooted like trees. Instead, we entangle ourselves in the knots of our own making and struggle lonely and confused. So, like children, we begin again to learn from the things because they are in God's heart. They have never left God. This is what the things can teach us, to fall, patiently to trust our heaviness. Even a bird has to do that before he can fly." Rainier Maria Rilke, Rise Uprooted Like Trees, end quote. So like children we begin again, and like kings we rise. The mountains are always calling, the winds are always whispering, the rivers are always roaring, the ocean is constantly rumbling, the trees are always talking, the stars are always singing. Nature is the medicine woman that wants to heal, the guide waiting to walk us back home when we lose our way. All we have to do is answer the invitation. Quote, "Before the mountains were born, are you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting to everlasting, you are God."